We can do it together because we all know this song. Kindly, si tunaweza simama, wale wanaweza simama tu. So that we do it together. If you know the song, you can join us. Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu. Kenya
Makofi zaidi. Asante once again, TSC. Ladies and gentlemen, our chief guest is around. Should be walking into the venue anytime now, into this hall. I'd like to request those who haven't found a place to sit to please come in. If you're standing outside, there's a couple of seats here. Tafadhali tuingie ndani ili tuwe tayari kuanza. As I said earlier, TSC will lead us in the national anthem, the East African, and the integrity song, and then we'll begin. All right? Kwa hivyo wale ambao wako nje tafadhali, if you haven't found a place to sit, please come and join us as I give TSC an opportunity to sing at least one more song before our guest comes in officially. And then I hand over to Mr. Jackson Mwe, our Master of Ceremony for the day.
tunashangilia taifa letu, urithi wetu, Kenya makao yetu, Kenya napenda Kenya,
ninaapa kulinda Kenya daima.
Tunashangilia juhudi yetu kujenga Kenya, Kenya tulinde Kenya, Kenya makao yetu,
ninaapa kulinda Kenya daima.
Tumebarikiwa na Mwenyezi Mungu kutupa Kenya,
Kenya
mazingira mema,
Kenya
naipenda Kenya,
ninaapa kulinda Kenya daima.
bidii tunayo na talanta tele tumejaliwa,
Kenya
tuungane sote,
Kenya
tujenge Kenya,
ninaapa kulinda Kenya daima.
hakuna mwingine atakayejenga taifa letu,
Kenya
ila mimi nawe,
Kenya
tutajenga Kenya,
ninaapa kulinda Kenya daima.
ukipenda Kenya jitolee leo, tujenge Kenya,
Kenya
tulinde Kenya,
Kenya
makao yetu,
ninaapa kulinda Kenya daima.
umoja wa kitaifa,
Ndilo lengo letu, umoja wa kitaifa. Ndilo lengo letu,
umoja wa kitaifa,
ndilo lengo letu, umoja wa kitaifa. Ndilo lengo letu,
kujenga taifa letu,
ndilo lengo letu, kujenga taifa letu. Ndilo lengo letu,
kujenga taifa letu,
ndilo lengo letu, kujenga taifa letu. Ndilo lengo letu,
hatutaki uchochezi kubomoa,
wananchi tuungane, tuijenge Kenya.
hatutaki ufisadi kubomoa,
Wananchi tuungane, tuijenge Kenya.
hatutaki ukabila kubomoa,
Wananchi tuungane, tuijenge Kenya.
madaraka tunayo,
Ni furaha, tuyatumie madaraka kuendeleza Kenya.
madaraka tunayo,
Ni furaha, tuyatumie madaraka kuendeleza Kenya.
taifa letu, makao yetu,
Ni furaha, tuyatumie madaraka kuendeleza Kenya.
tunajitolea kulinda Kenya,
Ni furaha, tuyatumie madaraka kuendeleza Kenya.
Mwamboko tucheze, isukuti tucheze, uhamula tucheze,
Tuyashangilie madaraka yetu.
mwamboko tucheze,
Isukuti tucheze, uhamla tucheze. Tuyashangilie madaraka yetu.
madaraka tunayo,
Ni furaha, tuyatumie madaraka kuendeleza Kenya.
madaraka tunayo,
Ni furaha, tuyatumie madaraka kuendeleza Kenya.
madaraka tunayo,
Ni furaha, tuyatumie madaraka kuendeleza Kenya. Kuendeleza Kenya.
Thank you. Can you follow? No, I can't really. Okay, so. Okay. Bombizi bora wa mamba ambao vangu na yanza.
Bombizi bora wa
A good morning. Good morning. May we all be upstanding for the national anthem. Choir leaders. May we remain upstanding for prayers. Miss Estarina Kageni, can you pray for us?
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, Almighty God, we thank you this morning. We entrust ourselves into your hands, and this conference that we are about to begin, we pray that your presence shall be with us as we deliberate, as we discuss, and as we come to the conclusions. We pray that your presence shall be with us. All this we pray through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you. We may have our seats. The chief guest, the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Felix Koskei. The Chairperson, Ethics and Corruption Commission, Dr. David Oginda. The Chairperson, Public Service Commission, Ambassador Anthony Mushiri. The Commissioners of Ethics and Corruption Commission. The CEO of Ethics and Corruption Commission, Mr. Abdi Mahmoud. The Director General and the Council Secretary, Kenya National Qualification Authority, Dr. Alice Kande. The CEO of Public Service Commission, Mr. Paul Bamba. The Chairperson, County Public Service Board, National Consultative Forum, Dr. Cecilia Ngetich. The Executive Director, Institute of Human Resource Management, Quresh Abdullahi. Chief Executive Officers of various state and non-state organizations, our development partners, esteemed members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to today's ethics conference organized by the Ethics and Corruption Commission in collaboration with all the stakeholders who are represented here. We take this opportunity to thank you for honoring our invite. The theme of today's conference is enhancing the integrity of academic and professional qualifications in Kenya. This conference will be delivered in two forms. We will have the official opening ceremony, where we will have keynote speakers. Then after that, we will have panel discussions on different thematic areas. With that, without taking much time, my name is Jackson Moore. I'm the moderator for this session. I'm the Director of Field Services and Coordination, EACC. Allow me at this juncture to invite the Secretary Chief Executive Officer of the Ethics and Corruption Commission, Mr. Abdi Mahmood, to continue with the program. Welcome, sir.
So, thank you, Bwana Mue. Our chief guest, Mr. Felix Kosgei, the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, the Chairperson of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Dr. David Oginde, the Chairperson, Public Service Commission, Ambassador Anthony Mushiri, the Commissioners of EACC present, Heads of Constitutional Commissions and Independent Officers present, Development Partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, so mine is basically to welcome you to this conference today and to thank you sincerely for finding time to join us to deliberate on a very important issue that concerns our country. So as I proceed, I just wanted to make one or two comments. The first one being just a small brief on the work of the Commission in terms of the current activities that are ongoing in our country. First, let me point out that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is a constitutional commission which is independent and operates within the confines of the law, the Constitution of Kenya, and other enabling legislations. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission does its work according to the law and in line with the policies that are set under the law. We have two layers of governance at the Commission. The first one, of course, is the commissioners, headed by a chairperson that deals with policy matters and strategic issues. And second layer is the management or the secretariat that deals with the day-to-day operations of the Commission. Now, during the work that we do, at times most of our work involves the law enforcement bit of it. And give me just about 2 minutes just to comment on what we do and how we do our work when it comes to law enforcement, because I think it's very important for us to understand. When we find or get information on a matter that we are investigating, what we usually do is to get what we call search warrants from the court, orders to search places to get evidence that we think are in those premises. In that process, we at times are confronted with situations which are not very friendly and very good. And I want people to understand, the public to understand, that the Commission is only guided by the law and operate within the law. So when we find ourselves in situations where we are doing our work as a Commission under the law, using a court order, and we are confronted by situations where the same people who had complained that the public funds are being stolen are the same ones who feel that probably the Commission is going overboard, I think that is a notion that Kenyans need to get away from. The Commission is not driven by any political agenda. What basically happens is just to follow the evidence. And what we are seeing is a situation where, as long as it doesn't concern you as a person or it doesn't concern someone close to you, corruption should be investigated. But when it concerns you as a person or a person close to you, corruption should not be investigated. And anybody who wants to investigate that corruption or those allegations is being driven by either political connotations or by other forces. I think that is the wrong thing to do. And I just wanted us to be very clear that we just follow the law and we do our job within the law. So, and I want just to encourage our leaders just to understand the way we work, and that it is important for us to get the support that we need because we are operating within the law. The second issue which I just want to mention is on the subject matter today, where since 2022, the Commission received and has taken up for investigations a total of 549 reports of forgery of academic and professional certificates. Out of this, 134 investigation files have been completed, with 85 files being forwarded to the Director of Public Prosecutions. And 33 are pending in court currently as we sit here. 20 cases have been concluded in court, resulting in 13 convictions and 7 acquittals. Apart from the prosecutions or administrative action taken against the suspects by the entities, the Commission has also prioritized the recovery of salary of any other benefit derived on the basis of employment acquired through fake certificates. And for your information, for the few cases that we've investigated, the amount of money we are looking at to recover currently is in the upward of 460 million Kenya shillings. Salaries that were earned by people illegally, people who used fake certificates to acquire employment, and these are public officers. And now that tells you the magnitude of the problem. The problem is not, something which is ordinary. So despite these gains and achievements in the law enforcement, time has come when more needs to be done. We cannot just be reactive. The gravity of this matter has necessitated the need for serious multi-sectoral reflection, solution seeking, and synergy building to arrest the vice. So, because this is going to be a long discussion and solutions are expected to come out of these discussions, let me stop there and now take this opportunity to invite the chairperson of the Public Service Commission, Ambassador Mushiri, to come and address us. And so Engineer Mushiri was telling me the other day that me and him, we go to the same barber shop because he sort of, keeps beards like mine. So, welcome, Ambassador.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, CEO. I'm not an engineer, so that's a fake one this morning. The Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, Felix Koskei, the Chair of the EACC, David Oginde, and the top leadership of EACC, and all distinguished guests and participants here this morning. A very good morning. Good morning once again. I know it's not the right time to be happy when we are discussing something as grave as this. Talking about, I didn't know we were ever going to get to this point of having a gathering, an important gathering such as this, to talk about certificates. But we are here today and we have to talk about this topical issue. I'm not going to take long here because we have a full day, but I'll just give a short preamble and then the scope, and then just a short epilogue of this subject that we are having here. But it marks a good opportunity for us to reflect on the issue today. And the first question we should ask ourselves is, how did we get here? And before I answer, or attempt to answer that question, let me be clear that no amount of careful planning can assure a government of continuous relevance and effectiveness if there is insufficient institutional capacity for learning, innovation, and change in the face of ever new challenges in a volatile and unpredictable global environment. To achieve this, the country needs a critical mass of educated people. However, and this is very relevant to us, expanding our education sector, as we have done in the last 2.5 decades, or 3 decades, ought to have been undertaken within a manpower planning framework, where manpower requirements have an economy that forecasted and educational intakes for each level adjusted accordingly. The partial dissemination of our polytechnics and vocational institutions did not help, as the country was left with an educational system that is currently producing many graduates who are unable to find jobs, as the integration of the academic and vocational tracks that hitherto had students leaving the school system with skills to secure employment no longer exists. So that is what we have, an educated mass and a youth bulge, and no jobs. So my short preamble brings me now to our focus today and the scope. Academic and professional qualifications are not just mere certificates. They are the epitome of a just, intelligent, and sober society governed by the rule of law. Their integrity, therefore, is a prerequisite for a competent and ethical national workforce. Yet in recent years, the integrity of certificates issued by our institutions of higher learning has come under threat by widespread cases of forgery and fraudulent acquisition of academic certificates by individuals seeking entry or advancement within the public service, and increasingly also in the private sector. Now, how did we get to start this exercise? I will tell you. When I took over the mantle of the Public Service Commission in 2022, January, within a span of 7 months, I did sit in quite a number of interviews. And what I realized is we had many interviewees coming before me with papers all the way up to PhD level. But what was coming out of the brain of the interviewee and the mouth was completely different from the papers that I was looking at. Completely different. And I realized we had a problem. Now, unfortunately, some of these papers are genuine. Some are forged, some are fraudulent, some are tampered with, some are genuine all the way to PhD. But the brain, unfortunately, is not genuine. And it will tell you. And it told us a lot. And that's why in October of that year, 2022, we decided to undertake this exercise to authenticate these certificates. And this brings me also to the institution of higher learnings. People are holding your papers, which are genuine. But the brains are not genuine. And people are holding papers which are genuine, which are tampered with. And there are some which are completely forged. Unfortunately, and this is an omission by the Commission, we took a span of 10 years from 2022 going backwards up to 2012. And out of about 53,000 certificates verified by different learning institutions, over 2,500 continuously, we are heading to 3,000, have been found to be forged. And I'm not talking about the genuine ones. How we are going to deal with the genuine ones, that's another story. This compelled me and the Commission to relook at the exercise, and 2 weeks ago I did issue another circular to ensure that everybody working in the public service, every certificate they hold, whether diploma, whether primary, whether Form 4, whether degree, whether master's, whether PhD, should be authenticated. That's public service. I'm not talking about devolved government. It's not under my jurisdiction. I'm not talking about other constitutional commissions, and we have the private sector. I think the speakers after me will talk about the other sectors that we don't have jurisdiction over. And I believe the CEO of the EACC has just said they are recovering some money and they have taken some people to court. But what I don't understand is how somebody can be acquitted with a fake certificate. I honestly don't understand. And I don't know whether the judiciary was invited to this gathering. You people tell me, how can you be acquitted and you're holding a fake certificate that has been confirmed as fake? And you have earned some money, taxpayers' money from that. It's unacceptable. And I believe, Chief of Staff, you talk to that this morning. Because if this is going to be a stakeholder effort, I think we might even have, and this I think goes to the EACC, we might have quite a number of judicial staff also holding these certificates. Ask me why. Because we have doctors and health personnel holding this stuff, clinical officers. Why not judicial officers? Yeah. The rot is all the way, everywhere. And this stains our institutions and our image among the community of nations, globally. Such that if you're going with a certificate to do a master's abroad or to do your undergraduate, you are looked at twice if you're coming from this region, from Kenya. We can't allow that to happen. So, the implication of fake certificates and the fraudulently acquired qualifications have far-reaching effects within our society. And of course, the fight against corruption can never be won if you have these people holding these certificates. Because you already have a corrupt person who's got in corruptly. Whatever you do, you can't win this fight. And that's the crisis we are facing today. And these people also do occupy positions of great responsibility. And we also have to talk to it today. Because this is a symptom of a deeper culture and societal malaise. A considerable percentage of our people celebrate shortcuts and habitually disregard ethical boundaries in pursuit of success. Our people now glorify fraud, and our traditional moral fabric is increasingly getting eroded. So what must be done? This is my take. We may enforce the law to the letter, bring the culprits to book, and even incarcerate them. We might also undertake systemic reforms, such as digitization of academic certificates, verification of certificates before appointment, and other mundane exercises. But will it help? My answer is an emphatic no. The solution is to go back to our roots, our culture passed on by our forefathers, as well as our liberation heroes. Why do we go back to our roots? Because culture denotes certain group beliefs and values that are shared or held in common in a given community, such as ours, based on a history of shared experience. They encompass rules and structures made by a society and reflect the values and beliefs of its people and leaders. These beliefs are the scaffolds that us humans erect and drive our values and beliefs as we go to school, compete in exams, graduate, get employed in public service, and serve society in a just and humane manner. I personally consider these values and beliefs, which are ingrained in Article 10 and 232 of our Constitution, the cultural foundation of our society. And if articulated and understood implicitly, the citizens will understand and appreciate why governance choices are made the way they are. And that's what we should reflect about today. So in conclusion, as I conclude my remarks, other than the scope of the malaise that I've pointed out, and my preamble and my short epilogue, we have to have a deep reflection as the integrity of not only our education system, but the economy and country as a whole is at stake. We as stakeholders here this morning should work interactively and synergetically by thinking again on what is ailing our education system and thinking ahead to understand that the future will affect our country if we don't put in place policies that can help bring back the integrity of our education system as well as its certificates thereof. Only then, and only then, can we have good citizens and a country to be proud of. Thank you very much for listening to me. Well, a protocol. David, you're most welcome to deliver your remarks and also invite the chief guest. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm to use this. All right. Our chief guest for this day, Mr. Kosgei, Head of Public Service. We are truly grateful to you for taking time to come and join us in this great gathering. And I want to appreciate each and every person who is here from different sectors who have come so that we can put our minds together in addressing this very serious matter. Indeed, it's a very sad thing that we should gather today in such a place, leaving the work that we should be doing, because these are very, very important individuals that are here in this room today from different sectors of our society. And we have laid aside everything else we'll be doing because a few individuals in this country have chosen to take shortcuts. It is a very, very sad thing. But let me appreciate all of us who have come here this morning at our invitation from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to discuss the matter at hand. The theme of this conference underscores the challenge that we are facing as a society when we are faced with the falsification of our academic certificates and other professional qualifications. As has been pointed out by our chair, PSC, and I thank you for raising those issues, the problem of academic fraud may seem small and domestic. I remember one time I was in Kisumu, and we were speaking to the media when we were just embarking on this whole thing about identifying those people who may have used wrong documents to gain employment in government. And when I mentioned at that time that we are going to go for these people, and if they are found culpable, they will not only be punished according to the law, but we will also seek to recover all the salary that they have earned in the period that they have served under those fake certificates. My phone was inundated by so many people who are asking, why should you take the money from them? They served the government, and you used their resources and their energies. The fact is that they built their houses on sinking sand. The foundation was wrong, and in all probability, they gave us substandard service. How would you like? It is true. If you went to a hospital, that is, and the doctor that you're going to see never saw the inside of medical school, but has a genuine certificate of being a doctor, and he chops off your head instead of your leg, will you be saying he is delivering good service? And that is happening in this country. So we are going to continue to fight this. But the reason that we called this meeting is because, as our CEO has pointed out, when we started in this process, we thought we were going to deal with a few people here and there. But we have come to the place where we realize that this is actually a pandemic. It is widespread across different sectors. And as EACC, we only deal with those people in the public service. And if what we are seeing in the public service is anything to go by, it means that possibly a similar problem is also in the private sector. And so we are in a situation where within a very short while, we are not going to be getting value for our money in terms of the services that we receive, in terms of the quality of products that we buy, because they are being produced for us and given to us by men and women who are not genuinely qualified to do the work that they are doing. Kenya is renowned worldwide for the quality of its human capital. And Kenyans are a hot cake when it comes to getting people to serve in other countries, because we have consistently over the years produced very high quality academics, people who have gone through a rigorous system of study and proved themselves. And when they go even for further studies in other universities out there, Kenyans have been known to excel. If we don't deal with this issue, that reputation is going to disappear. It is at stake because of the rampant falsification of academic and professional certificates that continue to flood our various sectors. It will definitely have a very negative impact on the workforce that we put out in a very highly competitive environment. This problem stems from a wrong foundation that is laid very early in our primary schools. It is not a problem at the top. In this country, we have come to that place where exam cheating starts at the primary school level. That's why during exams we mobilize the armed forces, the police, all people leaders in public sector to go and invigilate primary school exams, because our children are likely to cheat in the exams. When I was doing CPE in our time, our head teacher the previous day went to the district education office, collected the exam papers that we are going to do the following day, tied on his bicycle, and rode easily to school, locked them in a cupboard and went to sleep. The following morning we came and he would bring them out one by one, and we did the papers. He tied them again on his bicycle, took them to the divisional education office, and they were sent for marking. We never even thought that we could break into his office and get the exams. As he rode his bicycle some 6 kilometers, nobody thought of ambushing him on the way so that we could get those papers. Today, if that was to happen, he would not arrive at school with the papers. People would waylay him, they would pick the papers, prepare themselves, and I don't know what they will do the following day. That is a sad reality. So that seed is being planted right from primary school level in our children. It goes to secondary school, it goes into colleges, it goes into universities. I teach in a university, and I can tell you up to PhD level, people are giving us fake reports. Dissertations that have been copied and downloaded from the internet, and they want to pass their exams. It is a pandemic that we have to deal with. And so that's why we realize that this is not an EACC matter. We need to come together so that we can put our minds together on how to deal with this matter. Every sector represented here is important. Our chairman asked or wondered, how can a person be acquitted when they have a fake certificate? I'll give you a classic example. Not too long ago, I think it was last year, we arrested one of the senior people in this country for fake certificate. Brought this person to court, and the court acquitted them. On what grounds? That we took his statement in a hotel instead of taking the statement in our office. You know the person, they are around. It was in the news. So the issue was not whether he had a fake certificate or not. The issue is where we collected the evidence. And that's what we saw even yesterday that CEO referred to. Kenyans, we must be serious. This country can sink with us And whether you have a fake certificate or a genuine one, a true genuine one, whether you worked hard or not, if we do not take care of ourselves, the boat is going to sink with all of us. So let us not tolerate men and women, boys and girls, who have given themselves to shortcuts in whichever field. Let us be ruthless with them. Let's deal with them according to the law and ensure that our country is brought back to where it should be. Let us be proud to be Kenyans, because we are highly intellectual people, and I believe we are going to put back our nation on the right path so that you can eat from your sweat. I want to call upon us as we gather here today to be bold in making proposals and recommendations as we get to our discussions. Because it's only through constructive dialogue that we'll be able to have a true reflection on the magnitude of the problem that is at hand. Let me now take this opportunity to invite our chief guest, the head of public service of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Felix Kosgei, to come and officially open for us this conference. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Chairman of Ethics and Anti-Corruption. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption fraternity, led by the chairperson, Dr. David Oginde, other chairpersons and commissioners of constitutional commissions present, led by Ambassador Mushiri, chief executive officers present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm pleased to join you this morning to reflect on a matter that touches the very foundation of our society. The theme of this conference prompted me to ask, have we as a nation declined to the point where even the integrity of academic and professional qualifications, arguably the bedrock of a functional society, is now so compromised by corruption that we now need a conference on it? It is in this context that this year's theme, enhancing the integrity of academic and professional qualification in Kenya, emerges not merely as a topic for discussion, but as a timely and urgent call to action. This theme reminds us of the ground we must reclaim in confronting corruption and restoring public trust in institutions. For if the pathways to knowledge and professional excellence are contaminated, then the moral spine of the nation is grossly weakened. We must, therefore, recommit ourselves to build a republic where honor is earned, not forged, where credentials reflect competence, not convenience, and where integrity is not the exception, but the expectation. Ladies and gentlemen, as I prepared for this conference, I was reminded of the profound weight of the task before us, resetting and deepening accountability across all spheres of governance, in line with the ongoing reform agenda of this administration. It is a mission of consequence, and precisely because of its transformative potential, it will attract significant resistance. Those who benefit from the current dysfunction will not yield easily. There will be pushback. There will be efforts to undermine progress, to cycle back to the comfort of the status quo. But if we are to make a real and lasting difference in this nation, we must press on with resolve and clarity of purpose. Last week, I held a governance session with all principal secretaries, chairpersons, board members, CEOs, company secretaries, and heads of internal audit across all state corporations. In that meeting, I read out the resolutions of the meeting and emphasized the following golden key of governance. One was governance and compliance, where I reminded all institutions that they must operate strictly within the law, the Constitution, the State Corporations Act, the Public Finance Management Act, the Public Procurement and Disposals Act, and all government circulars. I made it clear that non-compliance would attract sanctions. I asked CEOs to immediately hold sessions with their teams to review these laws. I also talked about procurement reforms. I also talked about retirement policy. I also talked about boards and management roles, where I clarified that the boards should focus on oversight and not interfere in daily operations. CEOs must run institutions without interference. I added that reports from the Inspector General for State Corporations must be acted upon without delay, and ignoring them would be treated as sabotage. I also talked about audit committees. I also talked about ongoing state corporations reforms. I also talked about gender and complaints handling. I also talked about resolving internal disputes within government. In summation, I called for improved performance, faster service delivery, and a public service guided by integrity and citizen-first approach. For when governance works, Kenya works. And yet a few days later, I woke up to a headline that read, "One-man guitar." Ladies and gentlemen, how can a reform effort involving more than 3,000 participants be dismissed as the work of one person? How can a national agenda grounded in law and driven by collective responsibility be reduced to a one-man show? Such framing trivializes the shared commitment of an entire public service. But why? Because changes often, at times, is greeted with pushback. I found place in both public and private institutions. Why do I say this? Because we continue to encounter alarming trends in the falsification of academic certificates. The most common types of forgery includes alterations of KCSE mean grades, forged KCSE certificates, where individuals who never sat the examination present fake documents for purposes of employment or appointment. Fake certificates where the issuing institutions outrightly disown the documents presented. Candidates who never registered with the institutions are alleged to have issued certificates. Certificate numbers that do not correspond to their late owners. Fabricated names where the name on the certificate differs from that of the actual certificate holder. Individuals who never sat the examination in question and were not listed as candidates, and altered degrees classifications, for example, converting a second-class lower division to a second-class upper division or pass to second class lower. Even they can dare and even upgrade their degree from pass to first class. And on top of it, they can award themselves a fictitious master's and PhD. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, that is the elephant in the room today. I am therefore confident that this conference will not only provoke rigorous discussion, but will also yield concrete recommendations for multi-sectoral action, because lasting solutions require the commitment and participation of all stakeholders, whether in government, academia, regulatory agencies, or the private sector. One of our biggest and most important roles as government is providing a world-class education for our children, an education that will train them to be thinkers and problem solvers, an education that will ensure that they have the skills and knowledge to navigate the ever-changing global work and business environment, an education that will enable them to be change makers wherever they are, an education that will help them to be responsible and patriotic citizens. Nelson Mandela once said, "The power of education extends beyond the development of skills we need for economic success. It can contribute to nation building and reconciliation." As such, falsification of academic and professional certificates stands in the way of our nation building aspirations because it leads to unqualified and often uneducated people holding important positions across our public and private sector. These people are completely unable to steer our nation to the greatness that we aspire to. Additionally, having these people in our workforce negatively impacts the morale of Kenyans who earn their academic qualifications through hard work and honesty. It makes our populace question the integrity of both our public and private sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of the institutional response to this menace, I am informed that the Public Service Commission issued a directive requiring all public institutions to authenticate the academic and professional certificates of their staff. According to the report on the validation of academic and professional certificate in the public service issued by the Commission in February 2024, preliminary findings paint a deeply concerning picture. Out of 53,000 cases referred to the Kenya National Examination Council by 91 public institutions, 1,280 certificates were confirmed as forgeries. This verification exercise was still ongoing at the time of reporting. Just imagine 1,280 certificates were confirmed as forgeries. These are likely to belong to CEOs, chairmen of parastatals, board members, policemen, investigators across institutions. And just imagine the product of these fake fellows. They will drive the country in the opposite direction. Not because they want, but because of their limited knowledge and expertise. Separately, in 195 MDAs, including universities and other tertiary institutions, 29,000 officers underwent certificate authentication. Shockingly, 787 officers were found to have secured appointments, promotions, or redesignation through fraudulent documents. 787 officers. The findings further indicate that forgeries span all levels of the education system: secondary schools, TVETs, and universities, both local and foreign. This is not a marginal problem. It is a systemic one. Further, data from 2023-2024 values report on certificate authentication reveals 358 institutions reported conducting authentication exercises for 168,000 officers. Out of these, 859 officers were found with fake academic certificates, while 24,000 were not authenticated at all. A further 160 officers were found with fake professional certificates. State corporations and semi-autonomous government agencies are the highest number of reported forgeries, about 70%, followed by public universities with 116 cases. Only 49 institutions reported having forwarded the names of implicated officers to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and the Public Service Commission. Yet, 43 institutions could provide actual evidence or having done so. Alarmingly, 4 institutions submitted lists of implicated officers that did not match the number of confirmed forgeries within their organization. So we can go on, and simply put, it paints a very, very dark space. That the people that our citizens have delegated power to run the affairs of the country are incompetent, they are fake, and they are still making decisions. And they are shooting in the dark because they don't understand, they don't know what it is. And that is why when you go across institutions of government, you get very competent people. Decision making is wanting. People don't take command, they don't take charge of the institutions because they are inadequate and they know. And you can't hide that. You get somebody closing himself in the office, he does not want to see anybody, he does not want even to attend meetings because he cannot even sustain a conversation because perhaps he is a standard before and is holding as a highest official. He does not understand anything. So what I want to say is that EACC is doing a good job because calling all of us, because when you see a call for a discussion, a call for conversation, then you need to acknowledge that it is a crisis. And it also calls us to ask ourselves, where are the employers when these things are happening? Are these people who have fake certificates relatives of these people, of the employers? How are they not, ensuring that whoever comes in has proper papers? So I want to encourage Public Service Commission, EACC, and all employers, EACC and Public Service Commission, to push this responsibility to the employers themselves. They have to authenticate the papers before they onboard anybody, so that we don't waste a lot of government funds chasing around these people. We don't also expose the public to very dangerous people in offices. We are calling upon each and every employer across government, both public and also private sector, to ensure that they authenticate before they onboard anybody. It may take longer, slightly longer, but it is fine. It is better to take a longer time recruiting somebody and get the right one. And also it will help us if you come across a fake certificate presented, that person should be presented to the police for action to be taken. It is important too that the people who bring these people on board take responsibility too. Out of all these, EACC has confirmed that it has initiated investigation into officers found to have gained employment using forged documents. A majority of institutions have taken steps to authenticate certificates, but the status of verification for most officers remains unclear. They go also around and compromise even those who have employed them. So you realize that even if EACC puts their foot forward, trying to do investigation, sometimes the management of institutions that are targeted are very reluctant to share information. The institutions that are supposed to cooperate with EACC in hastening the process of the authentication also are reluctant to do it, and therefore government spends too much money in trying to ensure that the certificates are genuine or not. So it also drives us back to what I said, that let us deal with it at the gate of entry. While we strive to eradicate the falsification of academic and professional documents, we must also acknowledge with concern several emerging challenges in the verification process itself. The first one is many academic and professional qualification records remain undigitized, complicating efforts to verify credentials efficiently. So we need to hasten the process of digitization so that it becomes easier. We only use a search engine, and within the shortest time we get to verify the documents that we have in. Secondly, there are significant delays in receiving responses from issuing institutions when verifications requests are made. Commission of University Education, Kenya National Examination Council, and those other institutions around authentication. They need, again, to work very closely with EACC and respond as fast as they can. There is also the cost of verification, coupled with the lack of dedicated budget allocations, which has hindered some institutions from completing the authentication process. And we need to ask ourselves, is it really necessary? Do we make verification process to be an A item in your institution? Do we have to charge to confirm? Do we really have to confirm, to pay? It's a question that we are throwing back to NEC, Minister of Education, as the ministry in charge of academics in the country. Must we pay NEC to verify? Must EACC pay? Must we pay all this? Can we have some understanding where, when investigations are being done, when verification is done, it is done in a manner that is efficient, that exhibits a whole of government approach, so that we don't frustrate institutions that are mandated to do their job by demanding too much money. I understand it costs about 10,000 shillings, a lot of money for one to go and verify. We can charge private individuals when they are called to perhaps confirm their certificates or certify. But EACC, Public Service Commission, and ministries, government agencies, I don't think it is right. We need to have a conversation on that so that we make it easier for verification to be done. It is also often difficult to establish contact with certain foreign institutions where some public officers obtain their qualifications. I think, again, the ministry responsible, the State Department responsible, the regulator responsible should also make it efficient, find a way of interconnectedness with institutions across the world so that it becomes easier to get a feedback when it is required. There is also have been instances where officers implicated in certificate fraud have resigned or opted for a retirement before disciplinary measures could be enforced. And you have heard, the agencies have to go for that person. Even if you resign, the person should be pursued, because this is one character that may have created more damage than good in the institution. So we need, again, also judiciary to also help us in ensuring that such characters are also pursued. I know there was some judgment which says that if somebody resigns, you don't have any jurisdiction to pursue him once he's out of your jurisdiction. I think those are the things that we need to have a conversation, because one will resign here, disappear, go and manufacture another certificate and go and work elsewhere. When he's almost caught, he resigns. and like that. And it will make nonsense of what we are doing. So as vanguards of public trust, we fully appreciate the critical role that genuine education and professional qualifications play in advancing our national development agenda. Accordingly, it is requested that all public institutions must complete the authentication, academic and professional certificates for their entire staff, and possibly let us be having timelines. Like Public Service Commission, you need to push state departments and agencies to have some timeline so that we always have a target to reach. Other than if it is left open, those people who have brought their relatives in droves will hide them. They will never. But if we push them and give them deadline, for sure, we shall catch them. So let us have strict deadlines of returns of the entire complement of the staff of the institution, so that other things can go on thereafter. And also, the authentication process must be institutionalized. Let us not issue appointment letters, whether for entry or promotion, without prior verification of credentials. Let us do it. Let us become a condition precedent that before you are given a letter of appointment, let us authenticate your certificate. Pass the test first. Also, institutions must also verify certificates for all serving officers retrospectively from the date they joined the service. Let us not say from those who came this year going forward or something. Let us do this exercise, give ourselves a period of time. We do from the lowest to the highest. Up to my office, even myself, I have to present. Yeah, I have to, because we need each and everybody to respect the law and to be above board. Otherwise, I commend the decisive intervention of the Public Service Commission, which required all public entities to authenticate the qualification of their officers. However, this problem extends beyond the public sector. The numerous investigations and prosecutions currently underway show that this crisis spans all sectors of our society. And we are asking Federation of Kenya Employers, all private sector players, to please close ranks with government and let us eliminate forged documents in our system. Because without all of us being in this, still these fake papers will still have a market. They will still have where to be presented to. But if the private sector and the government and reviews all the certificates that their employees are presented, we may eliminate. It is possible that we can eliminate, because there will be nowhere that they will just go and present papers that are forged. So, ladies and gentlemen, the urgency of addressing this issue cannot be overstated. We must eradicate these vices in all its forms and from every angle. While law enforcement agencies have made progress in investigating forgery, prosecuting offenders and recovering public resources lost to fraudulent qualifications, a more collaborative effort among all stakeholders is essential. This conference marks a significant step toward a multi-sectoral, multi-agency approach to combating these menace. Its objectives is to bring key players together to confront academic dishonesty and forgery. During this conference, you will discuss the root causes, review progress in detection and prosecution, and deliberate on the roles different stakeholders must play. While these conversations are vital, I look forward especially to your practical solutions to prevent and combat the spread of fake certificates. Academic dishonesty and falsified certificates are symptoms of a deeper crisis, a lack of integrity. As we address this challenge, we must commit to restoring integrity at the core of all our national efforts. Without integrity, meaningful growth and development remain out of reach. I want to add and say that the entire citizenry of Kenya are yearning for development, are putting government under a lot of pressure for transformation. But you see, transformation, heightened development cannot come if we are not disciplined. If we are not even ready to play by the rule of law, basic things, we cannot. So first of all, let us be disciplined in what we are doing. Let us submit proper papers. Let us obey the law. Let us obey the traffic rules. Let us follow the tenets of the public service regulations. And the country will be disciplined. And when discipline kicks in, now people will sit down and plan and focus. Discipline in handling human and financial resources, discipline in handling assets of government, discipline in, even coming up projections and planning the economic space of the country. Discipline is key. Discipline is the foundation of everything. So let us be disciplined across. There is one writer who said integrity is choosing courage over comfort, choosing what is right over what is fun, fast or easy, and choosing to practice our values rather than simply professing them. Our words during this conference must not be mere rhetoric. We must embody these values and act decisively on the solutions we developed. Therefore, I call on all constitutional commissions and government agencies handling this menace to take a firm and unwavering stance, fully in line with the law, to root out this cancer undermining our nation. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has teeth to bite. Look no further. I urge the EACC and all relevant agencies to bite hard, because education is the foundation of any workforce, and workers are a critical factor of production in society. Honor must be earned, not fabricated. If it means dismissing those employed through fraudulent credentials, let us do so boldly and without hesitation. If it means prosecuting offenders, let us proceed without fear. If it means protecting our institution from dishonest individuals seeking undeserved employment, let us act decisively for the millions of Kenyans who have honestly earned their qualifications. Moreover, our institution must make authentication easier and more accessible. All universities should establish centralized repositories with a Commission for University Education, enabling all queries on academic qualification to be done via a single, streamlined search engine. Similarly, the Kenya National Examination Council must review and reduce their fees or just eliminate it completely for verification requests to make the compliance process user-friendly and affordable. This issue goes to the very heart of our nation's integrity. Let everyone do their part. In conclusion, I want to reaffirm the full support of the executive branch of government and all relevant agencies in implementing these conferences and recommendations. As I conclude, I want to add and say that as we are carrying out this exercise, we need also to be very vigilant, because currently disinformation, misinformation is ruling the air. People can bastardize even genuine certificates for some people because of some reasons that that has come to play. The kind of misinformation, the kind of media twisting of matters that are serious needs to be re-examined. And we are requesting also for the state to stick to the truth and facts, because falsehood flies fast. People people's careers, people's integrity can be destroyed because majority of us, even in this room, have no capability of countering effectively and adequately well what the social media and the propaganda fellows will do. It's impossible. Let us be responsible citizens across. There are certain critical issues that need not be joked around with. We've seen several social media and even print media where they just come out and boldly, and yet it is a lie that they are propagating. They go dig details of citizens or officers of government, get the facts, but they twist, either for their papers to sell or for them to get more followers. And by so doing, destroying completely the trust, the confidence that people have in our respective offices or our respective professions. So I ask all of us also, as we are doing what we are doing, as we are discussing this issue, we need also to ask ourselves, how do we protect those who are wrongly accused, whose misinformation and disinformation has flooded the environment to the extent now that they can't even undo whatever these criminals have done. So I want to urge all of us to be vigilant. It is, for example, as I stand here, I'm a student also of the University of Nairobi doing a very interesting course. I am doing a master's degree in entomology. I know most of you know agricultural entomology. So, a master's degree, my passion is in science. I'm a scientist. And I have risen through the ranks, done all the public administration courses, MBA and the rest, but I'm preparing for retirement. So I said, since I'm an introvert, I don't mix with many people, I don't go to hotels, what will I do when I retire? I have to go back to the lab to talk to my insects, to analyze them, to sequence their genomes, to identify, to profile, and also to inform the economic decision makers on what they are expecting in the future. And therefore, so the other day I was hearing that some fake fellows are going to dig to say whether I have hired people to work for me. And I pended this research of mine because I was busy for 20 years, and I've gone back to do it. I've been everywhere. I've been in Naivasha, my research station. I've been in Muranga. I've been burning midnight oil. And just imagine, people are going around saying, oh, I've hired some people to do. They don't even know what is the dragon fruit. They don't know even the definition of the term phenology. They don't know. They don't know resource partitioning. You get what I mean? So let us also not be so fake, looking for fake certificates. using fake means to look for. Yeah. So, so I want to really thank all of us here for coming. Let us have a conversation that will end up having actionable resolutions. And I'm happy that the Public Service Commission Chair is here. Is actually trying to transform the place. The place is huge, complex, but it's up to the task. We are happy that we are seeing the engine is rolling, and we are also happy that EACC is stepping up, is supporting, and carrying out their mandate. And as we were sitting, having some briefing, I was asking myself, do we really know what we want as Kenyans? Because when EACC steps out and moves in, people say, oh, they switch hand. When they retreat to their offices and try to, first of all, understand, get to know by investigating, getting documents for 3-4 months, then people say, EACC is dead. So what do you want as a country? When Public Service Commission unravels, checks on the certificates, and then they say they are now targeting a tribe. So what do we want? I think let us be serious and allow institutions to function and carry out their jobs. We want also other independent offices, Auditor General's office, which they are doing a good job, to continue without being intimidated by anybody. The COB should also move in and continue making sure that the money that is dispersed to counties are used properly. We want also NCIC to do their job. We want also GEC to do their job. We want also CAJ to do their job. EACC to do its job. And all the commissions and independent offices and also offices of government. We have to make this country work. We have to fix it. And we cannot wait for anybody else. It is our time to fix this thing. And it's a time to make it work. It is me and you now which has been given this privilege to do it. So I sincerely thank the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission for convening this vital gathering and all participants for engaging in this critical national dialogue. Let us rise from this conference with a singular resolve to take the nation closer to the reset of national ethos and to make fake certificates a relic of the past and restore integrity to the heart of our republic. With these remarks, it is my honor to declare this conference officially open. I wish you productive deliberations as we unite to eliminate fake certificates and all fake things from our own nation. Thank you. God bless you all. God bless Kenya. Thank you.
I invite all of us to applaud the chief guest for those remarks. I too want us to applaud the two chairs who have spoken at the CEO EACC. At this juncture, chief guest, the EACC is requesting for a photo opportunity with you, and I will be requesting the team from the hotel to move this podium slightly because we will do the photo from this stage. The first photo we will do it up here. So we can just put it on one side. Then I will be requesting our chief guest, accompanied by the Chair EACC, the Chair Public Service Commission, the the CEO EACC, the commissioners of EACC, the Vice Chair, Dr. Muiru, Commissioner Mshimba, and Dr. Mutuku, you join in the first photograph. Please. Media team, you let me know when you are done with that photograph. We will have a second photo. The same team remains, but I will invite the directors of EACC who work with the CEO to join in that photograph.
All right, and the final group we would like to take a photo of with is all the speakers who have been lined up to speak with us today in the program. All the speakers will be making their speeches today and also contributing to our conference today. Please come. I know the platform is quite full. The others can come to the front. Yes. Yes. All the speakers, all the contributors today, all our panelists as well. Some of you can come to the front. You don't have to go to the platform. Thank you. Asante. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Guest, and all the distinguished guests. At this point, I want to make an announcement that we will be proceeding for tea. And as we proceed for tea, we will have a short media briefing at this stage. And the team which is participating in the media briefing, they are already aware. We will have the chief guest and the EACC CEO commissioners are the ones who will join in for the media briefing here. So there will be some slight setup. Otherwise, I invite all of us to proceed for our tea as that media briefing takes place in this room. We are proposing that we start in the next 15 minutes. At 12 o'clock, we return to start our first panel discussion. Thank you.
I'll help you with this. Sawa. Bring the mic.
Bishop.
Yes.
No, you're the one who's done. What is an apology? I think that they right now that. Yes. So, you know, when people get used to false faith, they never expect somebody else can do this right picture. Yeah. Even corruption. Yeah. Even if you do something, you must have done something. Because they don't believe in Mike and resources. It's a very bad culture.
Kila mtu mic kwa sawa. All our mics are good.
So, muulize maswali.
Ngoja kidogo.
Okay, my name is Abdiaziz Hashim from KBC. The CEO had addressed a little bit of that issue of what we witnessed in Kitale, but I want the voice of the head of public service on it, because you see there is a section of political class who are accusing the government of having a hand in the arrest of the Trans Nzoia governor. So what do you have to say about that? Also going back to the CEO, there is another section that have accused the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, of dramatizing such arrests. What do you have to say?
I'm still with you in the Daily Nation. You actually acknowledge that the fight against this thing will likely push back. You highlighted that some institutions fail to give information at the right time. Perhaps how differently are we going to handle it going forward with you being the head of public service?
Sir, I think we can go with those.
Okay, thank you very much, members of the fourth estate. Today we are here and we are excited to have a conversation with all the stakeholders on area of trying to enhance the integrity of our certificates, academic certificates, both academic and professional, because it is the very foundation of a nation to have genuine, competent servants that understands what they are supposed to be doing, interprets that needs to be rolled out, and also ensuring that the conversation of stretching the minds to accommodate whatever will be useful to the country is done. So it requires capacity, and it requires people who really they went through training and really acquired certificates, whether academic or professional. And that's why we are very, very, very excited to be here today, so that all the stakeholders coming together will come up with a roadmap that will ensure that going forward we will not again find ourselves where we are. And that is why we've said that let us have a conversation, let us agree that the institutions that are responsible for ensuring that the certificates are authentic, let them be the first ones to check. Let us not allow people to come on board, work for several years, create damage, and salaries that they don't deserve, and then thereafter we go for them. We need to ensure that let us control the entry, so that, and what we call entry behavior, we have to control the entry so that we don't spend public funds on things that we could prevent. On Kitale, the whole issue is under investigation. I'm not going to comment until we get to know exactly what happened. Issues on doing differently is what we have said. One is that we want to push the whole responsibility to the employer. When he's just putting the conditionalities that the candidate feels, they need to disclose and say, we shall verify, we shall authenticate your certificates, so that it will deter even those who have those certificates. Secondly, we want also to have a conversation, and I hope at the end of the day, we have to agree on how we shall handle the issues of verification. Do we really need agencies of government to pay to get to know whether the certificate is fake or not? That is a conversation that we are leaving to the stakeholders here. Do the current architecture of storing and keeping these certificates in the right? Is it in the right manner? Is it current? And that's why we say we need to digitize. We need to digitization to continue, so that we can use such engines to get these things. And we need to have a repository. Like universities, we are encouraging all universities to agree with the Commission of University Education, so that they can have a central repository of all these information, so that it will be very easy for EACC, for Public Service Commission, for Federation of Kenya Employers, because we are encouraging also private sector to come in, so that it will be easy. You don't use a lot of money. It becomes efficient, effective. You click in with credentials that you've been given, and you get what you want. That is what we are saying. Thirdly, we want to encourage the entire country not to thrive in shortcuts, not to embrace falsehoods and conmanship. Let us stick to the lane of the truth. Let us agree. If we are not able, or if you are not able to get a particular qualification, just work hard to get it. Somehow you'll get it. Government has even established avenues, pathways of one to get these certificates eventually. It may take longer, but you'll reach there. If you don't qualify to go to university, don't go and manufacture your certificate. Just go to TVET, study, get high diploma, go to university. You'll get your degree eventually. So let us be true to the tenets of accountability and integrity, as I said. So otherwise, I think.
One final question.
Yes.
Daktari, tafadhali mimi naitwa Vincent Afande kwa niaba ya Radio Citizen. Ningependa kukuuliza swali na ujibu kwa Kiswahili. Awali ukihutubia umma umegusia kwamba kuna taasisi fulani ndani ya serikali ambapo uchunguzi wenu unaashiria kwamba wengi wana certificate zile fake. Pengine unaweza kutupea hizo takwimu kwa Kiswahili tafadhali?
Nimesema hiyo leo. Nataka kusema hivi. Nilisema nilisema kwamba Public Service Commission wamefanya investigation, wamejaribu kuchunguza ili wajue hizi certificates zote kwa institutions tofauti kama iko sawa au hapana, na wamepata institutions hao mingi yote hii, many institutions imepatikana kwamba huwezi kosa 10, huwezi kosa 100, huwezi kosa 500 iko, na tunasema kwamba sasa inafaa sisi zote tuwe macho, tuangalie kwa makini, tukileta hawa au kama tunataka watu wakuje kufanya kazi, kama tunaajiri watu, ni lazima tuhakikisha kwamba tumeangalia kwa makini hizi certificates, ili tusije tukalete watu wanafanya kazi alafu kesho yake tunapata walilete certificates ile hiyo sio ile sawa. Ndio nimesema ya kwamba Public Service Commission, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission wahakikisha kwamba tuendelee kuhimiza na kujaribu kuhakikisha kwamba watu wote Kenya hii, hata private sector, wafanye bidii kuhakikisha kwamba mtu yeyote yule ako na certificate iliyo sawa asiingie kazini. Anything else? Thank you.
So, thank you very much. I think you all know there is a case in court. Our response will be restrained so that we don't talk about matters that are already in court. But let me talk about what happened in Kitale. First, there was no arrest that we were doing in Kitale at all. What we were doing was basically in line with the court order that we obtained to look for evidence in those specific areas where we had gone. We were not going there to arrest anybody. And we were acting within the law. Now, what happened was very unfortunate because certain politicians incited youth who were there at that time. They attacked our officers. They destroyed public vehicles. In any case, those vehicles, as long as what you need to know is those are public properties. They are not, EACC uses those vehicles to do their work, but those vehicles were bought using taxpayers' money. So as you destroy those properties, just know you are destroying your own property. Now, that is against the law. The DCI and the EACC are currently conducting investigations to determine what actually happened on that very day, a very unfortunate incident, which we should discourage. Because if we don't allow law enforcement agencies to do their work, what will happen is anarchy. You need to understand that if you do not allow law enforcement agencies to do their work, what you are asking for is anarchy. Someone who has delivered, who has shown, a law enforcement officer who has shown a search warrant from a court should be given access to do a search. You do understand previously we went into certain premises where we got evidence that are useful for ongoing investigations. So it was very unfortunate, but this matter is under investigation. And of course, after the investigation, we expect those people who are responsible to face the law, because we should not entertain, we should not allow anarchy in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is it? Yeah, that's okay. Thank you.
nisongeze hapa. Kona kabisa. Yes, sir.
Jera, kuna yenye anachukua. Hebu ongea na Jera hapo hapo. Jera, yaani sema ni stream hiyo. Hebu mwambie. Sasa nichukue nini hapa? Ati? Ako na simu yangu. Haiko hapa.